Doing a video in something that's not your native language makes doing regular videos so much easier. What's up guys, it's me Lori. So if you haven't noticed, I did a video yesterday in another language, Portuguese, which I have learned over the last several years because I was living in Brazil. So that sort of got into this whole discussion of, you know, what is it like to learn another language and how much does like trying to get that perfect accent really trip people up. Felipe made this really good point, which is that yeah, when you get too obsessed with like perfecting your accent, that can really hinder communication and just like your path to becoming fluent in another language. And I totally agree. And to be honest, Brazil is the sort of place where you can sort of get away with having a foreign accent, and people will try really hard to understand you because Brazilians are really nice like that, at least about foreigners, depending also what kind of foreigner you are. But generally, if you're an American traveling in Brazil and you're making at least a little bit of effort to speak Portuguese, people really appreciate that and they'll stop and go out of their way to help you and everything. When thinking about how we here in the US treat other people that are in the same situation, I am kind of disappointed with what we do, you know? I think there is often an assumption that even if a person's speaking to you in sort of perfect English in terms of grammar or just conveying their ideas to you very clearly, there is a sort of perception sometimes that people are a little dim if they don't speak English with no accent at all. People have a lot less patience to sort of try and understand someone who has a foreign accent. I always felt like that was wrong, but now that I've actually been in the position of living in other countries where I couldn't speak the languages that well at first or really get around very well, I just appreciate it that much more when people are kind and really trying to understand you when you're trying to communicate with them and you're not doing that well. It's already difficult enough to try to overcome your own fear and shyness of speaking in that language, and it makes it so much worse when everyone around you is constantly like, what'd you say? And like just assuming that you're dumb because you can't say things properly. In the US, I think people who have a foreign accent that's like not British or French or any Western European accent, they tend to get turned down for jobs, have more difficulty just getting people to listen to them. And it's not because it's that hard to understand people with other languages. I mean, yes, I'm more accustomed to it because I grew up in New York and people speak with all kinds of accents here. But if you just slow down and listen carefully enough, they're speaking English, they're saying English words to you. English is a phonetic language that's not a tonal language like Chinese. So, you know, it's really not that hard, people. I mean, if it's your native language, you should be able to understand accents. But I guess what I want to say is learning Portuguese was made so much easier by being in an environment where people around me in Brazil were so supportive of my learning process and so patient with trying to hear me explain things in such roundabout ways because I didn't have a full vocabulary. And I hope that we can reciprocate when anyone, whether from Brazil or anywhere else, comes to our country. And as far as language, I've got a lot of stories to tell you guys, and I have also some tips on how to sort of survive in countries where you may not speak the language and maybe even learn a little bit of the language if that's what you want to do. I'll do that in future videos. But until then, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!